My friends, prayer is not a ritual of words. It is a movement of consciousness. True prayer is not about pleading for something to happen, but about recognizing that it already has in the unseen realm of your mind. Every time you pray, you are speaking to your own deeper self, the quiet, infinite intelligence that knows no limit, no lack, and no fear. This inner power listens not to your voice, but to your belief. The words you say matter far less than the conviction that fuels them. Prayer is not begging, it is believing. When many people approach prayer, they often do so from a place of desperation, pleading with an unseen power to change their situation. Yet true prayer is never an act of fear or helplessness. It is an act of faith and confidence. Begging implies that you are separate from what you desire, that you must convince the divine to hear you or take pity on you. But real prayer begins when you understand that the power you seek is already within you, ready to respond the moment you believe. Prayer is not about trying to move God. It is about moving yourself into alignment with the truth of divine abundance and love that already exists. When you beg, you affirm lack. You are saying, I do not have. The subconscious mind receives that message as a command and continues to manifest conditions of not having. But when you believe, you declare, it is done. You affirm that what you desire already exists in the invisible realm, and you align your thoughts, emotions, and expectations with that reality. The difference may seem subtle, but it changes everything. Belief transforms prayer from a cry for help into a creative act of faith. The universe responds to your belief just as soil responds to a seed. The moment you plant the idea with conviction, unseen forces begin to work toward its manifestation. Effective prayer, therefore, is not a repetition of words, but a state of consciousness. It is the quiet conviction that what you have asked for is already on its way. When you pray, it is not necessary to use complicated language or long rituals. What matters most is the feeling of certainty that accompanies your thought. The subconscious mind understands feeling far more than words. If you say, I am healed, but feel fear and doubt, your subconscious will accept the feeling, not the phrase. But if you calmly and sincerely believe in your healing, the subconscious responds instantly, directing all forces within and around you to restore harmony and health. Believing prayer does not come from anxiety or impatience. It is peaceful, confident, and filled with gratitude. You do not try to force results or watch for signs. You simply rest in the knowing that what you have asked for is already a spiritual reality. You begin to act, think, and feel as though your desire were fulfilled, and soon the outer world reshapes itself to mirror your inner conviction. This is not wishful thinking, it is the working of divine law. Just as gravity never fails, the law of belief never fails. Whatever you truly accept in the depths of your mind becomes your experience. The moment you stop begging and start believing, your prayers take on new power. You cease to speak as one who lacks and begin to affirm as one who already possesses. That shift of awareness opens the channel through which divine energy flows freely into your life, transforming circumstances, healing relationships, and bringing peace to your soul. The subconscious mind responds to faith, not fear. Every thought you impress upon your deeper mind carries an emotional vibration, and that vibration determines the outcome you experience. Fear and doubt send conflicting messages, while faith sends a clear and unwavering signal. When you pray or set an intention, the subconscious does not evaluate whether your request is good or bad, wise or unwise. It simply accepts whatever you truly believe to be true. It is the silent servant of your dominant thoughts, always obedient, always creative. If you fill your inner world with fear, you attract experiences that match that fear. But if you nurture faith, even in the smallest measure, the subconscious begins to move all things to fulfill it. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a deep inner knowing that the power which governs the universe is on your side, working constantly for your good. When you hold faith, you are in harmony with the divine intelligence that created all things. Fear, on the other hand, separates you from that harmony. Fear looks at appearances and says, this is impossible. Faith looks beyond appearances and says, with divine power, all things are possible. The subconscious mind acts upon the stronger emotion between the two. If fear dominates, it reproduces failure and limitation. If faith dominates, it manifests peace, success, and healing. To develop this faith, you must learn to quiet the noise of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is easily influenced by external conditions. The bills on the table, the doctor's report, the opinions of others. But the subconscious works from inner conviction. The moment you choose to believe that a higher order governs your life, your subconscious begins to rearrange circumstances in your favor. You may not see immediate changes, but beneath the surface, invisible forces are aligning themselves to bring forth the outcome you have accepted in faith. The secret is persistence. You must hold your faith even when appearances seem unchanged, for the subconscious mind needs consistent direction to create consistent results. Fear weakens the signal, faith strengthens it. When you dwell on fear, you give energy to the very outcome you dread. The mind cannot hold two opposing beliefs with equal strength. One must yield to the other. If you want faith to win, you must feed it with affirmations of truth, with thoughts of gratitude, love, and assurance. Speak words of faith until they become natural to you. Visualize the end result with calm joy. Feel the presence of what you desire as though it were already real. Every time you do this, you are programming your subconscious with the language it understands: emotion, conviction, and imagination. The subconscious responds to faith because faith is creative energy. It builds, heals, and restores. Fear is destructive energy. It breaks down and limits. When you choose faith, you align yourself with the highest vibration of life itself. You give permission for divine intelligence to flow through you, guiding your steps, opening doors, and transforming every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Visualization and feeling are the language of true prayer. Words alone do not move the creative power within you. It is the emotion and mental imagery behind those words that give them life. When you pray, the subconscious mind does not respond to mere sentences or phrases. It responds to the vivid pictures and sensations you hold in your heart. Every image you build with feeling is like a seed planted in fertile soil, and the stronger the emotion attached to it, the quicker it takes root. To pray effectively, you must not only think about what you desire, you must see it, feel it, and live it inwardly until it becomes as real in your inner world as it will be in your outer one. The subconscious mind is impressionable. It cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is physically experienced. When you visualize a scene with emotional conviction, the subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to manifest it through the law of correspondence. This is why people who continuously imagine illness or failure often experience those very things, while those who imagine health, peace, and abundance seem to attract them effortlessly. The difference lies not in luck, but in the images consistently impressed upon the deeper mind. Whatever you feel to be true about yourself becomes your reality, for feeling is the creative bridge between thought and manifestation. When you visualize, do it in a relaxed and peaceful state. Close your eyes and see the end result of your desire. Do not think of how it will happen. Think only of it already being done. If you desire healing, see yourself vibrant and whole, moving freely and joyfully. If you desire success, see yourself already living in that success, feeling the satisfaction and gratitude it brings. Let your entire being be absorbed in that image until you feel the emotion of fulfillment. This feeling of completion is what speaks directly to the subconscious. It says, "This is real," and the subconscious, obedient to that impression, sets the creative process in motion. Doubt, tension, and impatience interrupt this process. The subconscious works best when the conscious mind is still, calm, and filled with faith. Just as a seed needs quiet darkness to grow, your mental image needs peace and certainty to take root. Repeating a prayer with anxiety or desperation is like digging up the seed every day to see if it has sprouted. But when you visualize with trust, you allow the unseen forces of life to operate freely. You give your subconscious permission to translate your inner image into outer experience through channels and timing that your conscious mind may not understand. Visualization is not daydreaming, it is disciplined imagination. It is the deliberate use of the mind to create in harmony with divine law. Feeling is its power source, the energy that animates the image and gives it form. When thought and emotion unite in perfect harmony, they become irresistible creative energy. This is the true language of prayer, the language the universe always understands. Your thoughts shape your destiny through the power within. Every experience you encounter, every success or failure begins first as a thought. The mind is the workshop of creation, and what you continually think about becomes the blueprint of your reality. You may not realize it, but each idea you dwell upon imprints itself upon your subconscious mind, and that impression eventually expresses itself in the outer world as events, conditions, and relationships. This is the divine law of cause and effect working through your consciousness. You are never a victim of chance. You are the architect of your destiny through the thoughts you consistently hold and believe. When you think thoughts of fear, worry, or limitation, you are unconsciously designing a future that reflects those same qualities. The subconscious does not argue or reason. It simply reproduces what you impress upon it. It mirrors back to you the dominant pattern of your thinking. That is why persistent negative thinking attracts difficulty, while faith-filled positive thinking attracts harmony and success. The law is impartial. It does not favor anyone. It simply reflects whatever you give it. If you plant thoughts of peace, you will reap calm circumstances. If you plant thoughts of confusion, you will harvest turmoil. Your outer life is always a mirror of your inner state. To shape your destiny wisely, you must become the guardian of your mind. Watch your thoughts as carefully as a gardener watches over delicate flowers, removing weeds before they spread. You cannot afford to entertain destructive ideas and expect a joyful outcome. Replace every thought of doubt with one of confidence, every thought of fear with one of faith, every thought of lack with one of abundance. When you change your inner dialogue, your entire life begins to transform. For you are working with the creative principle that governs all existence. The subconscious mind is most receptive when your conscious mind is calm and filled with conviction. Repetition and feeling impress your ideas upon it. Each time you affirm something with emotion, whether good or bad, you are reinforcing that belief within yourself. If you continually say, "I can," you strengthen failure. If you affirm, "I can and I will," you awaken the power that makes it true. This is why disciplined, positive thinking is not mere wishful thinking. It is a deliberate act of creation. Every strong, clear thought, believed in and felt deeply, sends a vibration into the unseen, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that correspond with it. The power within you is divine, limitless, and ever responsive. It waits for your direction. You have been endowed with the ability to think, and through that gift, you hold the key to your destiny. No one else can think for you, and no one else can create your life. Each thought you choose is a brushstroke on the canvas of your future. When your thoughts are aligned with truth, love, and faith, your destiny unfolds in harmony with the highest good. Gratitude amplifies your connection to the divine. It is the invisible bridge between your prayers and their manifestation, the sacred attitude that keeps you in harmony with the creative power of life. When you give thanks, you are declaring that what you desire already exists in the unseen, and that declaration releases powerful energy. Gratitude is not merely polite acknowledgement. It is a spiritual vibration, a deep sense of appreciation that lifts your consciousness above limitation and into alignment with abundance. The thankful heart is magnetic. It draws to itself more of what it appreciates because it operates in the frequency of fulfillment rather than lack. Many people pray with longing, believing that gratitude is appropriate only after the answer appears. Yet the wise know that gratitude before manifestation is the highest form of faith. When you thank the divine for something you have not yet seen, you are affirming that it already exists in the spiritual realm. This act of faith convinces the subconscious mind that your desire is real, and it begins to orchestrate circumstances to bring it forth. Gratitude transforms your prayer from a request into an acknowledgement. Instead of saying, "Please give me this," you say, "Thank you that it is already mine." This shift in attitude moves your consciousness from wanting to receiving, and the universe always mirrors that state. Gratitude also purifies the heart. It dissolves resentment, fear, and worry, which are barriers to divine flow. When you focus on what you appreciate, your attention moves away from what is missing and toward what is working. The subconscious responds to this positive focus by reproducing more of the same. Every grateful thought is like sunshine to the garden of your mind, causing the seeds of your desires to grow quickly and beautifully. The ungrateful mind, on the other hand, blocks the flow of good by dwelling on dissatisfaction and complaint. Complaining reinforces the belief in lack, while gratitude reinforces the belief in abundance. True gratitude is not forced or mechanical. It arises naturally when you begin to recognize the divine intelligence operating in every detail of your life. You start to see that even challenges carry hidden blessings and opportunities for growth. You realize that every breath, every heartbeat, every sunrise is evidence of the infinite love sustaining you. From that awareness, your prayers become effortless, because you are no longer asking from a place of need. You are celebrating from a place of abundance. This consciousness of gratitude opens doors that effort alone could never open. The more you practice gratitude, the more sensitive you become to the divine presence within and around you. It deepens your faith, sharpens your intuition, and fills your mind with peace. Each time you express sincere appreciation, you strengthen your connection to the source of all good. In that elevated state of thankfulness, your desires manifest with grace and ease, for you have entered into perfect harmony with the creative rhythm of life. Doubt blocks, but conviction creates. The mind cannot serve two masters. It will always act upon the belief that is most deeply rooted. When you hold a desire in your conscious mind, yet secretly doubt its fulfillment, you send mixed instructions to your subconscious. It cannot bring your prayer to pass while you waver between belief and disbelief. Doubt is like a shadow that dims the light of faith. It delays, distorts, and often destroys the very outcome you long for. Conviction, however, clears the path. It is the unwavering certainty that what you desire is already accomplished in the unseen, and that assurance directs the creative power of your mind with precision and strength. Every thought you think carries an emotional charge, and that charge determines its creative force. Doubt weakens the signal, conviction amplifies it. The subconscious mind receives conviction as a command to act, but it receives doubt as confusion. When your mental state is divided, the subconscious cannot produce definite results. It is like trying to plant a seed while constantly uprooting it to see if it has grown. The power that brings forth life cannot operate freely until you trust it completely. Conviction is the key that unlocks the infinite resources of your inner self. Once you decide, without hesitation or fear, that your desire is real and attainable, invisible forces begin to move in your favor. Conviction is not loud or forceful. It is calm, steady, and unshakable. It does not depend on appearances or circumstances. When you possess true conviction, you are no longer influenced by outer conditions. You can look at a situation that seems impossible and quietly affirm, "It is done." This is not denial of reality. It is recognition of a higher reality, one that begins in thought and expresses itself through faith. Conviction aligns your conscious and subconscious minds so that both move in perfect harmony toward a single purpose. That unity of thought is what creates the conditions necessary for manifestation. To build conviction, you must learn to replace every thought of doubt with one of assurance. Doubt may whisper, "What if this doesn't work?" And you must answer, "It already has." You must train your inner dialogue to affirm success, health, peace, and abundance until those truths feel natural to you. Each repetition of belief strengthens the pattern within your subconscious, and soon it becomes automatic. Doubt cannot survive in the presence of sustained confidence. Faith grows stronger every time you act as though your prayer has been answered. The subconscious reads those actions as proof of belief and works tirelessly to make them true. Conviction creates because it operates according to divine law. The universe is not moved by hesitation but by certainty. Once you have chosen to believe, once you have seen and felt your desire as fulfilled, you set in motion the creative power that never fails. Doubt closes the door. Conviction opens it wide and invites the miracle to enter. Every answered prayer begins with inner harmony. The power of prayer does not flow from words alone, but from the unity between your conscious and subconscious minds. When your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are aligned, your prayer moves effortlessly into manifestation. But when inner conflict exists, when you consciously desire one thing but subconsciously expect another, the energy of your prayer becomes divided. The subconscious mind cannot bring forth what the conscious mind doubts. Harmony within yourself is the condition that allows divine power to express through you without obstruction. Inner harmony is achieved when you quiet the restless thoughts of fear, anxiety, and resistance. These mental disturbances create static that interferes with the communication between your conscious intention and your deeper self. Prayer is not a struggle to make something happen. It is a surrender to the truth that it already has. You enter that truth through peace, not pressure. When your mind and heart are calm, you open the channel through which divine intelligence flows freely. You begin to feel a sense of completeness, as though what you desire were already present. That feeling is the evidence of inner harmony, and it is always followed by outer transformation. The subconscious mind works best when it receives a single, clear impression. If your conscious mind says, "I am healed," but your heart feels fear or doubt, the message becomes confused. The subconscious responds to the feeling, not the phrase. To pray effectively, you must bring your thoughts and emotions into agreement. Speak your affirmation with gentleness and conviction until the feeling of peace settles over you. That peace is a signal that your subconscious has accepted the idea. From that moment, unseen forces begin to arrange circumstances to match the inner pattern you have created. Inner harmony also means forgiveness. You cannot hold resentment, guilt, or anger and expect your prayers to bear fruit. These emotions disturb the balance of the soul and block the flow of divine energy. Forgiveness releases that tension and restores the heart to a state of openness. When you forgive, you let go of mental clutter and make space for grace to operate. Harmony is not only the absence of conflict, it is the presence of love, gratitude, and faith. When these qualities fill your mind, your entire being resonates with divine order. To cultivate inner harmony, spend time each day in stillness. Silence the outer world and turn your awareness inward. Feel the presence of life within you. The quiet strength, the eternal peace that never wavers. From that sacred space, speak your prayer as if you were conversing with the infinite. Do not beg, do not struggle, simply know. When your conscious request and your inner belief become one, your prayer becomes a creative force that nothing can resist. Harmony is the meeting point of human faith and divine power, and it is at that point that every true prayer is answered. You already possess the power to manifest divine results. The creative force that shapes your life is not something distant or reserved for a chosen few. It is the very life within you, waiting for recognition and direction. Every person is born with this inner power, for it is part of the divine essence that animates all things. The difference between those who struggle and those who live in harmony with life is not luck, circumstance, or privilege, but awareness. Once you awaken to the truth that the same intelligence that created the stars also flows through you, you begin to realize that you are never powerless. You are a co-creator with the infinite, and your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings are the instruments through which divine energy takes form. This power does not need to be acquired, earned, or borrowed. It simply needs to be recognized and trusted. Too often people look outward for solutions, hoping that something external will save or transform them. Yet the answers they seek are already within, waiting to be called forth. When you turn inward and acknowledge the divine presence that dwells in your subconscious mind, you discover a source of strength that cannot fail. This inner presence knows the perfect answer to every problem, the perfect path through every difficulty, and the perfect way to express your highest potential. The key to unlocking this power lies in belief and acceptance. The subconscious responds to what you deeply believe to be true. If you believe that you are weak, life will mirror weakness. If you believe that you are guided, supported, and empowered by a divine intelligence, life will unfold in alignment with that belief. You are always manifesting, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every thought you think, every emotion you dwell upon, is a seed planted in the garden of your mind. When you choose to plant seeds of faith, gratitude, and confidence, you reap a harvest of peace, success, and fulfillment. The divine power within you is impartial. It simply expresses what you impress upon it. To manifest divine results, you must learn to think, feel, and act from the awareness that the power is already yours. Speak to your subconscious with calm assurance, affirming the truth of what you desire as if it were already accomplished. Visualize the outcome vividly, and most importantly, feel the joy and gratitude of its fulfillment. That feeling is what activates the creative process. The moment you accept something as real in your inner world, the subconscious begins to produce it in your outer experience. There is no effort or struggle in this process, only faith and alignment. This divine power within you is limitless. It can heal your body, restore your peace, attract prosperity, and bring harmony to your relationships. It knows no boundaries except those you impose through doubt and fear. When you trust it completely, miracles cease to be rare occurrences and become the natural expression of your consciousness. You are not a beggar before the universe. You are a channel of divine creation. The power that you seek has been within you all along, waiting for your recognition, your faith, and your command.